and consider wearing a mask in public spaces. Reporting live in Toledo, Bree Malaska, NBC 24 News.
This month is National Cancer Survivor Month, and doctors say it's a good reminder for survivors to remember them and also to sign up for your annual screenings.
And in honor of this month, a local woman is sharing her story and her inspiring message to others going through a similar situation. NBC 24's Sophia Pericone is live in the newsroom tonight. And Sophia, this woman has had quite the journey.
Yeah, Aaron, in 2016, Julie Baer developed rashes that doctors couldn't seem to get a diagnosis for. Jump ahead to 2 years later, she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, starting a years-long journey with unbelievable complications. But now, 5 years later, she's finally in remission.
Toledo and Julie Baer is a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a fighter.
Holy cow.
In 2016, she noticed something different about her body. She suddenly developed rashes, welts, and itchy skin, but none of her doctors could figure it out.
I even talked to my vet. I thought maybe it's something I'm allergic to with my dogs.
But unfortunately, it wasn't an issue that allergy medicine could solve. 2 years later, Baer walked into the emergency room after having a hard time breathing. A mass developed in her neck, and within days, she was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
It's very sneaky because it will appear in one part of your body in lymph nodes, and then it'll disappear, and then it can resurge someplace else.
That diagnosis in 2018 started a complicated 3-year journey for Baer. On top of going through chemotherapy, she was now taking blood thinners and insulin, and eventually was put on dialysis.
So going from not having much issue health-wise at all to 2 different kinds of injections I had to give myself and being told I had cancer was a little bit overwhelming.
Then in 2019, more complications. While receiving a bone marrow transplant, Baer turned unresponsive. She was put on a ventilator in the ICU, and her family forced to plan for the worst. But after a miracle, she bounced back. Until 2020, another complication when she had a bad reaction to chemo and her medication, leaving her unable to walk.
I'm going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, but there are tremendous survivors of all different kinds who manage to get around town.
And just like before with every other complication, another miracle. Immunotherapy put her into remission this past March. She learned how to walk again and is now preparing to run a 5K.
Why wouldn't I go out there and see if I couldn't do this? I try and walk every chance I possibly can now, because for a while there, we weren't sure if I was going to.
During June, a month dedicated to Baer and other survivors, her doctors and nurses at ProMedica are reminding others to follow in her footsteps. If something doesn't feel right, get it checked out.
When patients seek care, there's many answers that are good answers versus a bad answer, things that are easily treatable.
And Baer's reminding others to enjoy every minute of life, regardless of a diagnosis.
Cancer, no cancer, you're going to live until you die. We just have cancer.
And Baer's nurse practitioner also told me that being open and honest with your doctors could be key in early detection. Even if the smallest thing doesn't feel right, you should still get it checked out and not be afraid of a diagnosis. Reporting live in the newsroom, Sophia Pericone, NBC 24 News.